This is Josephine Sedgwick from the New York Times. We're live at the New Balance factory in Lawrence, Massachusetts, and we're about to watch some custom baseball cleats get made. I'm here with
Joe Husson. I'm the plant manager in Lawrence.
And Dave, business unit manager for New Balance Baseball.
They're going to be our guys. Questions for them in the comments. Take it away.
So in Lawrence Manufacturing, we've got 215 employees. We do one shift currently. In baseball now, we have 15 to 20 people, depending on what the order quantities are that come in. They're pumping out cleats about every 3 hours.
So yeah, it's been a really fun process for us to really get this going. It's taken us a couple years as we've worked with our MLB players in the past, working with them to create their own custom cleats and allowing them to self-express on field and bring their own style and swagger to the field. We want to give that opportunity to players of all levels. So as you go through, you're going to see the multiple different types of combinations and how the cleats are built. And it's a really fun process. We hope everybody enjoys the look-see.
So what do we see right here?
So let's walk through. We're going to see the first stage in the process, which is the cutting operation. So right in front of you, these are the dies that they use, and they physically push down on the material and cut out different shapes for the different parts of the shoes. So as you come around, this is where the order process begins. You'll see materials on the bench getting staged up and ready to go. Every pair of shoes has its own unique bin, and we track it through the entire process. So the cutters look at it, they see what materials they need, what color combinations, and then they begin the process.
So for those of you just joining us, we're live at the New Balance factory in Lawrence, Massachusetts, where they make custom baseball cleats. It's part of the NB1 series. If you have any questions about how they're made, post them here.
Excellent. So he's picking different components now that he's going to need for this pair of shoes in particular he has. And then he's going to run some stuff through the process to make sure that he matches up and kits up all the different components for the different pairs of shoes. So the picking where it starts, and then he cuts through all the different pieces.
How many different workers will touch these shoes before they're complete?
Can be anywhere from about 15 to 30, depending. We have quality inspectors as well that look at everything at the end of the process. And then everybody's looking as it goes through the entire process. So the inspection, the quality is really top notch.
And it looks like there are a lot of on the table here.
Yeah, we wanted to give the most amount of options for a player to come in and really customize their own cleats. So in certain cases for synthetics or meshes, you have upwards of 12 to 14 colors that you can choose from each material part piece. So the combinations are truly endless. I think the actual number is over 34 billion different unique combinations can be made from the materials that are offered.
All right, so what's next?
So we walk straight ahead, we'll start to see the inside of the shoe coming together. So they form, which is really one of the special features in the shoe, called the comfort collar, which is this inside portion of the shoe. When we get the padding, it makes it, like I said, fits nice and comfortable on the different shoes. So what you'll see here is they've combined a couple different colors and two different materials in order to get this detail. This machine is a hydraulic press with heat. You'll see he's loading a mold right now. So we have a different mold for every single size that we run and the different widths that we make. So they load them in and out, they leave them in an oven, they preheat them in an oven to make sure that they're nice and warm, so that when they do the combination of the material, it's always good the first time.
How hot do things need to get?
So in this process here, a couple hundred degrees for this pressure and heat. And what you'll actually see is they take the different materials. So this is a red, and then they put one on top of the other in this process. And then they press it together with pressure and heat, and then they create this detail that you see on the outside of the shoe and the inside of the shoe.
And the purpose of that part there for the player is to be able to provide the ultimate amount of comfort, not only underfoot but around the foot, so keep players comfortable and safe while on field, and help prevent injury and give them the best fitting cleat that we can.
So as we keep walking through the process, each piece comes together. The next station that we're in now is what we call the foxing, the back of the shoe. We're actually putting different pieces together similar to the collar. We use a different technology where we put it under pressure to create that detail. Then we take this, and this is really one of the unique features. We take the back of the shoe to the next station, and they can embroider in numbers. They can put the NB logo on. They can do a couple different color combinations. So you'll see here, this station, he's cutting and cleaning up that comfort collar we talked about. So if you look here, you can see how that other process goes together, and they create that unique detail that goes around. So he's taking this process and he's cutting out the finished component. So we're going from here to here and getting set up to actually go on the inside of the shoe. So if we walk here now, you can see the embroidery on the back of the shoe. So it's unique, and he can pick a program. He picks the different fonts, the different sizes of the lettering. You can get it really unique to what you want to do on the back of the shoe. So he's just picking right now the number that we have for this particular style. It can be done in one color, it can be done in two colors. Infinite amount of possibility when you look at it. You can do it the same color as the back if you like, but typically folks mix up the colors.
Jennifer asked if there are any tennis shoes made here as well.
Tennis shoes are coming, so we're going to be doing a court shoe in our lifestyle line, custom for next year. So this one's difficult to see, but they requested an NB logo on the back. Yellow thread is the back of the shoe, so sometimes they like it to be just hidden into the back of the shoe versus it really standing out. So that's what you're seeing here.
And one of the other unique ways that you can personalize shoes, not only by putting your name, the number on the back of the shoe or the NB logo, is under the tongue. We offer the opportunity to actually put a hidden message or somebody's name under that tongue, so nobody on the field will be able to see it, but you know that it's there. And this inspiration came from working again with our pro players, who in some cases will put family members, pets' names, kids, or a special saying under their tongue. So again, just a little motivation for them that only they know is there and is really unique to each player.
A lot of people are commenting, yay, made in America. Are there other benefits, or can you talk about the benefits of making things in America and maybe the challenges as well?
I'd say one of the advantage that we like to we see with making the product here is we're able to turn the product around much quicker and get it to the end consumer as fast as possible.
Great. And again, you said it was about 3 hours from when an order comes in that a shoe could be made?
Yeah, we've made some significant improvements. We were at eight days about 4 or 5 years ago. We did a big project with Toyota focused on lean, and we were able to get it down to now about 3 hours depending on the different shoes. So the area you see now is our kitting operation where we store and stock all the different components.
So you can see here the different sole unit options and different colors that you can get. You have the ability to have a white, black, gray, or a white with a gold metal plated plate. As you can see here, come in a couple different color options. And then as well, on the molded bottoms, the white, the black, and the new edition with a molded gold bottom unit.
So much gold.
And
is there a glow-in-the-dark shoe back there? What's happening back there?
Sorry, so back there, that's part of the process of...
it's the final assembly, so we take the top of the shoe. Right now what he's doing is he's putting the adhesive, the cement on, the upper. And what you'll see is it's under a UV light so that we can see how well we've done and that we have enough on in order to get the bond that we want between the top of the shoe and the bottom of the shoe.
Huh. Why don't we go take a closer look?
So if we come through here quickly, you can see they're stitching the different components. So this is really a pretty complicated part of the process where we're doing the lace keeper on the tongue. And the tongue is a pretty unique piece of the shoe where we actually have 6-7 components we bring together to get that different detail. If you walk this way, you'll see some of the different steps. This one here is a pretty unique operation where we put in this top binding. This gives us that comfort around the collar. You don't want to have any sharp edges. You don't want anything that's uncomfortable up against your ankle, causing blisters. So we add this final detail in this operation.
A viewer just asked, do you test each sneaker before they're sent out?
We have certain quality parameters, so we do push testing on it to make sure that the bonds are good. We have visual inspection at the end that they actually look at different components and different features to make sure it's the way it should be. So every shoe does go through a QC at the end. Yep.
Another viewer was asking if there's been increased automation of the different stages of this process.
This stage here, what we call our closing, our stitching operation, is still a lot. Really take pride in. It's hard to automate. You really have to be able to get into real tight details, and this is really what puts the whole shoe together. Where we can automate is some of those stitching operations you saw earlier, the embroideries on the back. There are operations on some of our other custom shoes where we are able to put in 2, 3, 4 pieces and have it stitch all at once. And where we can use automation, we do. So this is an interesting operation where they take the whole back of the shoe, they're actually putting some foam on the inside, and then they're going to attach it to the entire front of the shoe. So this is a big step in the process right now if you're watching. So this piece that she's putting in now actually connects the whole back with the front. And it's a very complicated stitch, and she has to be very accurate each and every time.
Yeah. John Ramos just asked, what is the average cost of custom cleats?
What do we got?
There's a question about the average cost of custom cleats.
So it starts at $130 and goes up from there depending on what options and colors and plates you choose.
So you can watch here. This is really where we're starting to finalize the tongue attachment to the top of the shoe. So they're taking the inside, they're finalizing all the final stitches up at the front of the shoe here. So you're really turning that final 2D shape into a 3D shape. And then on the next operation, they put in what we call a sock on the bottom, where it really turns it into the 3D shape, gets it ready for assembly. The amazing part is just how accurate they are each and every time. And they do so many of these per day, but they get it so fine, so detailed, and again, that craftsmanship is what you're paying for.
How long have each of your employees been doing these specific tasks?
So baseball we started in September of this year, but a lot of these associates are tenured at about 15 to 20 years on average at this facility, so a lot of these stitchers have been doing this an awful long time. So again, this is that final step where we're taking that outside shape and we're putting what we call the sock on the bottom. And we do a final stitch, you can see as we come around here. That really gives it that final shape to get it ready to do the assembly. You see it's a pretty unique stitch that we use all the way around, so it's getting, this really is what ends up giving it the final size, so we can change out this inside sock to give you the different widths and the different shoes that we have today, so we change that out depending on what size and what width people order.
Chris asked where, she asked, are all of your materials American made? Where did the materials come from?
Our materials are blended. Where they come from, so we have some American made and we also have some that are not, but the majority of the materials and obviously all the labor is American.
Angela was asking about the benefits that New Balance employees receive. How is it to be a New Balance employee?
Being a New Balance employee is fantastic. It's a great company. That highly tenured folks have been here, and we've been here for many years, and the brand itself is a great brand to work for.
So now we're moving to the final stage where we actually do the assembly. So now we've created that 3D shape of the shoe, and we have to take the upper now and we need to get it onto a unique base. So we have several different options. We have these steel plated ones. We have a plastic version as well. So as we run it through this operation, they're distinctly put together. So we take the top, bottom that goes with it. In this case, we've got a team order coming through. You can see several different pairs of the same colorway. You can come around a little bit closer. You can see they actually glue. They're starting to form that real shape of the shoe. So they glue in the toe down to make it nice and stiff and secure. And you can see it on the top now. Instead of being flared like it is over here in that front, you can see it has a nice toe shape now. It's really starting to look like a shoe. So that's what he's gluing over here. This machine over here, he actually marks up the detail to match up the sole to the upper as well as we possibly can. And that's what he's doing now. He actually uses an invisible marker that we can see under the UV light to get it so precise so that you don't have crooked shoes, you don't have shoes that just don't fit right, or you see some openings or something on the outside of the shoe. He's lining it up to get it just right. And then the final step here again is QC, where you see we're lacing up all the shoes individually. We go up quite high, and then we're doing our QC inspection here on the right hand side. So every single pair has a unique, as I said, it's seen a lot of different eyes. You've got 20 people as it goes through the whole process. Then we have a final QC inspection. So what she's doing here, we use this piece of equipment to check to make sure that the bond of the sole to the upper is what it should be. We don't want soles coming off. We don't want openings. We don't want any issues with that. And we check every single shoe, every single pair. And then we've got unique boxes at the end.
And then Santa Claus brings them.
And Santa Claus keeps everybody going and happy for the holidays.
Alright. Well, thanks everyone for tuning in. I think we're going to wrap it up here.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
This is Josephine Sedgwick from the New York Times. We're live at the New Balance factory in Lawrence, Massachusetts, and we're about to watch some custom baseball cleats get made. I'm here with
Joe Husson, I'm the plant manager on Lawrence.
And Dave, business unit manager for New Balance Baseball.
They're going to be our guys. Questions for them in the comments. Take it away.
So in Lawrence Manufacturing, we've got 215 employees. We do one shift currently. In baseball now, we have 15 to 20 people, depending on what the order quantities are that come in. They're pumping out cleats about every 3 hours.
So yeah, it's been a really fun process for us to really get this going. It's taken us a couple years as we've worked with our MLB players in the past. Working with them to create their own custom cleats and allowing them to self-express on field and bring their own style and swagger to the field. We want to give that opportunity to players of all levels. So as you go through, you're going to see the multiple different types of combinations and how the cleats are built. And it's a really fun process. We hope everybody enjoys the look-see.
So what do we see right here?
So let's walk through. We're going to see the first stage of the process. This is the cutting operation. So right in front of you, these are the dies that they use, and they physically push down on the material and cut out different shapes for the different parts of the shoes. So as you come around, this is where the order process begins. You'll see materials on the bench.